in a sweater's den, an appeal to the masses. Into dingiest room of a dingy court, shut out by buildings from late to day, its windows grimy with smoke and dust, through which no sunbeam can ever stray, where fear hangs heavy and smells are bad, and never a breath of a freshening breeze comes in to sweeten the unwholesome stench that lurks around, breeding vile disease. There in that horrible filthy den, in this enlightened and Christian land, dead to pleasures that world affords, you'll see a pining and sickly band of men and women and children too, and to meaning of slavery well they know, as they drudge away for starvation pay, poor victims of avarice, want and woe. Oh, what a terrible lot is theirs, with griefs so plentiful, joys so few, every day helps to swell their cares, although, God help 'em, they have enow. Hope never enters their weary breasts, it's an empty word that they cannot trust. From light to darkness they never rest, for stopping a minute might cost a crust. Mony a one pinched face you'll see, and mony a cheek with tears are wet, and mony a one drops ill and faint for want of food that they cannot get. But to sweater looks on with pitiless scene, what matter to him if they starve or die? They mun go, says he, if they cannot work, why should their poverty trouble me? He smiles to think how he grinds 'em down, then cries aloud in a scornful pitch, what good at poor, I should like to know, unless they help to make others rich. Some folks say conscience should lead us on, and he curls his lip in a sneering way. I wonder what businessmen 'ud think if you talked about conscience to them today. A fig for conscience, let me have brass, and I'll face the world boldly and brave its frowns. For making one of me shoddy suits, I'll pay me tailors £half-a-crown. And if that isn't pay enough, pray what is? For a skilful monk can make 3 a week. Bah! Tread on poor if you gain respect, it makes 'em humble and low and meek. He pauses an instant to look around, and then resumes to theme he were on afore. There's to women, he says, that make shirts for shop, and they're paid well for their work, I'm sure. They've 2pence a piece for all they make, they find their own buttons and thread, that's true. But then they can do about 6 a day, and I think for a woman that's quite enough. Yet sometimes they grumble and want more pay, but room for complaining I cannot see. They've 20% for doing work, and there's no but 80 as profit for me. And to men grumble sometimes as well as them, but these are 2 words I'd always say. If you don't like it, you'd better go, and they're fain to be humble and slink away. I cannot see where I'm doing wrong, and to serve my own ends I shall never disdain, for competition in trades so strong, and men and women so proud and vain. And ready-made goods they demand so cheap, that heedless of poverty's cries and groans, they banter us down till we lose on stuff, so to profits come out at toilers' bones. I know some profits are less nor mine, but it's nowt to me what others do. There's some content with a moderate thing, but I want more, and I'll have it too. And having finished, he turned away, and went into freshness of God's pure air, leaving behind him his sweated band, to plod along in their blank despair. O men and women, be wise in time, and when next purchasing, gently pause, and ere you banter your garments down, just think at suffering at your cause. Just think at the wages you earn yourselves, compare with those that are earned by poor, that toil in misery for next to nought, and you'll have their blessings for evermore. Shun every tradesman that doesna pay a fair day's wage for a fair day's work, then for poor toilers you'll breaking way, that now, alas, is so drear and dark. Just do by them as you be done by, for actions are mightier than tongue or pen, and things like these that I've just described 'll exist no more in a sweater's den. Although this was written well over a century ago, it remains a fact that sweaters are still with us, and that we as consumers all too often fail to complain.